I miss you. I miss you a lot.
You guys.
I was mad when you left.
It's nice to be mad about. It's not proper grammar.
It's good enough. Good enough. Good to see you.
I love this church.
Yeah. Say something, Rhea.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's up, man? How you been? All right. My brain is. It's the three amigos right there. Let me zoom out a little bit there. That's a good idea. Who's going on the room catching everybody? Catch you on video.
This is gonna go on the board in the.
Hurry up, I'm walking. Hi, Mr. Vito. Oscar! You look nice with flowers like that. That's really nice.
Thank you.
They go together with you. They remain. There we go. Awesome. That's right.
Oh man, okay, no, this isn't even 30-second warning, this is like 5-second warning. I need everybody, this fire drill, find somewhere out of the middle of the way to stand, because I need Tim and Becky to come in here. Also, you need to get somewhere comfortable, because we're going to be having some toast pretty immediately after this. That's much better, thank you guys. Okay, so without further ado, for the second time, I'm pleased to welcome to the room Mr. and Mrs. Timothy Collins Foreman. Yeah, keep it going, that's all right, keep it going, get the picture. That's great. Great. All right, so yeah, you can put your phones down. No, I'm just kidding. You can keep them out. You guys really do like those phones, man. I was up at the front of the stage. Y'all couldn't see it. There was like 100 cell phones out, so. You guys coming all the way up here? All right, that's good. Yeah, I can so if you guys want to. All right. So we're going to jump right into things here and actually have the best man, which is Daniel Foreman. We don't know who he is. Come on! And the maid of honor, Kara Kylam, wherever she's at, come on up front. And we're going to just have a little speech/toast, but I don't think people have anything to drink, so it's going to be a speech. And just toast the air. No, it's just going to be all right. So without further ado.
I guess I'm up first. Listen, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to give me a microphone, but like that was not good. Welcome to my wedding, everyone. I'm just kidding. But my name is Daniel Foreman, for those of you who don't know who I am. I am the youngest child in the Foreman family, which basically means when I was birthed, my parents realized they had reached the point of perfection. They couldn't possibly have a better child, so they ended on me. No, I'm just kidding, but maybe not. Listen, if we're talking about perfection though, you guys came to the right wedding, because Tim is a saint, man, and I mean that with all my heart. Like, from when we were little, like, growing up with Tim as your older brother, it's amazing, it's also horrible. It's kind of like growing up with Jesus as your older brother. Like, he just sets the bar so high. I mean, he's good at everything. Like, literally everything he's good at. Sports, like, other languages. Granted, his eating habits aren't the best. Like, he's good at so many things. Fishing, oh my gosh, fishing, he's ridiculous. We can all be not catching a single thing, and Tim will be catching world record fish. I don't understand it. I can remember going out with him as a little kid, and like, we're fishing, no one's catching a single thing. Tim's catching like huge fish, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I just hear this voice, Daniel. I was like, oh God. And I look over, and it's Tim. Granted, I can't see his face because he's silhouetted, the sun's behind his head. And he's just like, cast on the other side of the boat. And I was like, who is this? Like, Jesus? No. So I did. And I caught a fish, and I was like, I'm done. Like, it's sealed, done, wrapped, this guy's next level. Couldn't believe it. No, but I could stand up here and tell you story after story of Tim's accomplishments, Tim's talents, and whatever, but I don't think Tim would want me to do that. But I shared a room with Tim for many years, over a long period of time. And when you share a room with someone, you really get to know that person very well, more so than anyone else, because no one's watching. Not even they're watching, because usually they're sleeping. So, like, I got to know Tim really well. And I can tell you one thing, Becky, just, prepare yourself. Because Tim moans in his sleep. Most people snore. I don't understand it. He's just over there. Like, what is going on? Like, 2 in the morning, I'll wake up. Dude, the aquarium's that way. Literally, though. So, but, that's like one of the few bad qualities, so prepare yourself. But, in the time that I spent with Tim, sharing a room with him, every morning, if I woke up early, and every night, if I went to bed early, I would always see Tim reading his Bible, seeking God, always. And that is the kind of person that Tim is. Tim loves God with all his heart. And from when I was a little kid, Tim challenged me to seek God for myself. I would come to Tim and I'd be like, Tim, like, what does the Bible mean about this or that? And he's like, Daniel, ask God. I was like, I'm asking you. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, no, come on, like, just help a brother out. He's like, no, like, you seek God for yourself. And Tim, I just want to thank you so much for that, man, because of your example and because of who you are, you challenged me to seek God for myself. Not listen to, the different people around me, but to take it to the source and to know God. And if anyone here knows Tim, you know that Tim, like, loves God. And you know that Tim loves people. And he's such an example, not only to me, but to everyone here. Becky, you're marrying one of the best guys I know. The other 2 are the other people in my family. 3, I got my dad. But you really are marrying one of the best guys. He loves people, and he will do anything for those around him. So I'm so excited for you guys. Becky, I can't wait to have you. Actually, you are my sister-in-law. Whoa, let's go. So I can't wait for that. I can't wait for this next chapter in your guys' life to start. But I love you guys so much. Tim, you're the best man. I love you guys so much. And today's a day of celebration because Tim moved out. I get my own room. Let's go. But hey, I love you guys so much. Cheers for the future and my future nieces and nephews. Thank you.
If you you want Daniel to come do one of your parties? Come talk to me? I'll hire him out. It's pretty cheap. Where's Kara at? Please come up here. Kara's gone. She left. She said, I ain't talking after that guy, man. No, really, where's Kara?
6:30 in the morning. I wake up, little 8-year-old me, and I run outside and I see Tim fishing, like Apostle Peter. And I walk outside and there's two fishing poles on the end of the dock. And I walk out, little 8-year-old me thinks I know everything, which I do. And I was like, yo, Tim, there's a fish on this line. And he's like, no, there isn't, Daniel. And I was like, dude, I know everything. Trust me, there's a fish on this line. And Tim humored me. And so he reeled it up, but guess what? I was right. And there was a tiny shark on the end of that fishing pole. And then I was like, all right, you ready for this? 2 for 2. There's another fish on that line. And he was like, no, there isn't. I was like, Tim, you already doubted me once, man. Like, come on, put some faith in me. Anyway, we're talking, and we just see this huge splash. And we both look at each other, and we both run to the rod. And I grab the rod, and then I'm like, I can't even pick this thing up. I don't know why I just grabbed it. And Tim grabs the rod, and instead of taking the rod for himself, he actually gave me the rod, and he got behind me, and he started reeling, like, with my hand on it. And I was just standing there. Tim was doing all the work, and I was like, dang, this is hard, I don't even do anything. Tim's doing all the work. Anyway, like, we fought this thing for a good little bit, and it ended up being like this 13-foot sawfish that we caught off the end of the dock. And so I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, here, you take the rod. I ran inside. I was like, everybody, I caught a sawfish. I caught it. Like, come look. And then everyone came out. They were like, clearly Tim caught it, but they let me do it. It was crazy. It was one of the most crazy experiences of my life. But I will never forget that Tim didn't actually take the rod for himself. I was actually thinking about this the other day. He actually gave me the rod, and he let me feel like I reeled it in, even though I didn't do anything. So, thanks, Tim. That's another one of your stories.
True story. I thought he was lying until we looked outside and there was a sawfish on the end of that line. We have videos to prove it, so we're not lying. Kara, without further ado, let's please welcome Kara Kylan.
All right. Well, first of all, I guess mainly I just want to make this about attesting to the work God has done in Becky's life. Is this better? Okay. So just the work that God has done in Becky's life over the years. And the cool thing about knowing someone so closely for over an extended period of time is you really get to see where they have been and what all God has done in their lives. And so that's been really special for me just as Becky's sister. And so I guess as I was thinking about it, just going back and reflecting over all the years, I just felt like kind of her life was broken down into 3 main phases. It was first, bully Becky, and then Becky trying to be the good Christian, and then Christ in Becky. And just like going back to our childhood, like my earliest memories of Becky were of her being a bully, and it's very hard, like looking at her now, to imagine that. But there were 4 of us, like the 4 middle siblings, Craig, Brent, Becky, and I. We would always hang out, and I think all of us were just a little bit scared of her because if she got mad, it was like, look out. And I remember different times, and she had hit her growth spurt early, so she was like a head and shoulders taller than the other 3 of us. And so it would take all 3 of us to get her down, and then we would pin her down and like pin her hands and her feet and like sit on her. It is true. And then we'd have to jump up and blitz in the other direction because fortunately she was not gifted with speed. So she couldn't usually catch us, but you didn't want to get within arm's length of her. But then the first big switch happened when she was about 11 or 12. And she just very sincerely decided that she wanted to be a good Christian. And I remember it very clearly, and there was just like this big switch. And she was just, she got into reading the Bible every day and memorizing verses and praying and just all the right things, doing all the right things. And she excelled at it. And she was very good at being very good. And but it was one of those things where it wasn't Christ, it was Becky. And it was Becky being really good. And then probably about 6 years ago, another big switch came. It was God just bringing her to the realization that the Christian life isn't about being a good person, and God working in you in and of yourself to be a good person. And it's about Christ living his life through ours. And ever since then, she has been a different person. And just the way she interacts with people, the way she interacts with me has blessed my heart so much. And Becky, just God's love just pours out of you. It really does. His love and his acceptance, just accepting people right where they're at and loving them and making them feel valued and appreciated and like they have something to bring to the table. And you're probably the single most influential and impactful person in my life. And I am truly, truly grateful for you and just so blessed to be able to call you my sister. And so, Tim and Becky, I am just thrilled for you guys. And just my prayer for you is that God would have his way in you and just build his kingdom in your lives and through your lives. I love you both.